Hi, and thank you for watching TargetedWest.com, the original V2K call. This is D2K. D2K is Dreams the Skull, but this is DJ Chris, and I'm your host and moderator. I'll be here tonight to moderate an open mic session. We have several people dropping by tonight, and it's basically a 4th of July weekend, and most of the fireworks are all gone and people have gone home already, but the targeting continues. It doesn't end like 4th of July. It continues the zapping by directed energy weapons. We're being used on people during 4th of July, so it's terrible stuff. But anyway, the opinions of our guests are that of their own and not that of DJ Chris or Targeted West. We're a peaceful work group, and we meet every week on Sundays, and tonight is basically an open mic session. So come on in if you'd like to talk. It's show 168, and it's 7/16/2025, and in Lodi it is 93 degrees. So anyway, open mic if you guys like. You're talking about more gallons, I heard, yeah?
More gallons. I've had a little bit of success. Well, I had watched a video of somebody using potassium iodide, which makes sense too, that we're so deficient in that. But I will get these outbreaks, just to make it quick, but I get these outbreaks about once or twice a month. And my girlfriend, I tried to not freak her out because I have tried to explain this to her that it's like invisible spiders basically crawling in my mouth, but they're not invisible because I've lit them on fire and then it's creepy. She's had dreams about that too. So I think the filaments and the nanotech is kind of a big part of that, and it's only getting worse. But in terms of symptoms, the potassium iodine, and I know peroxide is really good with kind of breaking them down because they're bioavailable, I guess they would call it, right? So it's kind of like a cyborg type thing. They're trying to marry human biology with.
Do you have the same thing happen, Anthony?
Well, it doesn't seem, mine seem to clear up with this oil. And let me show you, let me turn on this light. Do you see where the skin is peeling off?
Mm-hmm.
The dark part is where I applied the oil.
Mm-hmm.
And after a few days, it goes down deep into the cutaneous tissue, and then after a few days it starts peeling off. But what happens is it's killing the Morgellons, and I'm also taking a drop of it under my tongue. I also chelate with the cilantro detox with the chlorella. Okay, but this is what I'm using, the oregano oil. It's the oregano oil.
I approve of that. That's a natural way to go.
And it's spicy as heck. If you can handle chili peppers, put one drop under your tongue, and it'll only last for about 20 seconds, but your breath really smells good after that. And I think I like the smell of it, personally. And I have been using this, and it's castor oil. I don't know, it might take some of you back to your childhood, but I used to drink a spoon of it when I was little. My mom used to make us. But I've been putting that on it too. I haven't been drinking it because I haven't been that, I don't know, but. And of course I use the cilantro detox.
Cilantro is great for detoxing from metals, heavy metals, especially in the foods. You should put a lot of cilantro in your food.
Heavy metal detox, definitely. I've been looking into trying to figure out how to do that, because it's definitely, well, if it's technology of some kind, then it has to have metal, right? So the jabs or the vaccines or whatever, the foods and the heavy metals, I think everybody probably has. And I heard somebody say that. I listened to this man who's from Germany, very articulate and kind of over my head, talking about the kind of about that kind of stuff. And about the Morgellons are actually kind of, if it weren't for the fungal growth of the Morgellons, we would probably almost die from the heavy metals in our body. So it's like actually kind of kept within those fungal fruiting bodies, which is fruiting bodies. And I know when it's kind of spiraling throughout my body, I get this outbreak. And then the sores are just like you said, they're deep down into the dermis, to the fat layer. And it stings, it feels like biting, it hurts. And then there's no sleep for that night or 2 nights or 3 nights out of the month or whatever it is. And then it calms down. But yeah.
And some of the scars look like that wood looks out in the forest. If you've seen the bark taken off of wood that's been rotting, and you see like a worm had eaten through it, and how it kind of has that little trail where the worm has been through. That's kind of how my skin looks after my outbreak is healed in that area.
Yeah, and my girlfriend tells me not to dig at my skin, and I say, well, I don't pick until I know that there's something to be picked at. And so instead of trying to damage my skin more by using my fingers like as if I'm picking acne or zit, so I'm trying to be a little more calculated with tweezers and then putting peroxide or the iodine on it. Like I'm going to keep that in mind though, the cilantro, metal detox and stuff.
No, not the cilantro. The cilantro is for heavy metal detox, and you take that under your tongue, and it tastes kind of sweet and it tastes good. It's the oregano oil extract that tastes spicy, and that's the one that you want to put on your skin. The oregano oil.
Okay.
You can get oregano oil anywhere. I get mine from Amazon, and I haven't had a problem yet with any of their stuff.
No. Do you mind if I segue this to a quick story about, since it's so recent for me, about 2 days ago, another one of I call it the attack.
Yeah, I don't mind. Go ahead. Just remember you'll be on Spotify and YouTube and all that fun stuff. So go ahead.
And my name's Jacob, by the way. Jacob.
Jacob? Okay, Jacob. Come on into the conversation. Tell us your story. And so you said you're new to the calls?
New to the calls, yes, but listening to the show.
Hey, definitely go ahead.
So I go, and I could just tell that there was a Morgellons outbreak kind of starting to happen. I could just feel subconsciously my skin's starting to crawl a little bit. It's not quite nighttime. All those things like the creepy crawlies start to happen usually after midnight. So I'm supposed to go to my girlfriend's house, which is out in the country. So I go out there, and I have a scooter, like a moped, a little gas moped, and I get out there, and I'm in her house, and we say, okay, it's time for bed. Well, I say, okay, I'm just warning you, if I start itching, I'm going to have to go lay on the couch for something. Well, all that, the itching, the crawling, the biting, the everything. I mean, it's almost unbearable.
Yes.
Sorry?
I'm done. I did it already.
And so
I've been muted. Go ahead.
Yep. And so I'm there, and then it's like 1 o'clock in the morning, and so I just say, I'm just going to go home. I'm going to go home so I'm not bothering you, so you can at least get your rest. So I have to go to the gas station. It's 1:30 in the morning in Michigan, rural Michigan, in the middle of summer, obviously. So it's prime time for the gang stalking and the bullshit to happen, which I don't blame them, for them to play with their little toys and torment unsuspecting victims. So I go to the gas station. My card gets declined, even though I knew I had money on there. Okay, well, I think I have enough gas to make it to my parents' house, which is even further in the country, but the opposite direction, right? Instead of going home, backtracking over to her place, I go further out. Well, it doesn't run out of gas. It just dies. sounds like an EMP. I don't want to jump to conclusions, but it just didn't even sputter or chug like I ran out of gas. And I should have tried to start it right back up again. I just didn't think about that. I was so concerned on getting home since it's 2 o'clock in the morning at this point. And I said, okay, well, that's fine. I'll just park it here in the ditch, take the key with me, and just keep walking. I'm a man. I'm a 33-year-old man. I can protect myself. I have a phone on me. If anything happens, I can call somebody. And I'm walking. It's about half a mile down, and I see a blue arc and I go to pull my phone out to go check the time, and I just see like a blue arc, and my phone won't turn on. So my phone never just shuts off or dies. Like, well, it might have died. I said, okay, so maybe that died. And this is important for later in the story. So the 4-mile journey by foot in a rural back road with streetlights, the only thing to illuminate the pathway, and I'm walking. I'm dealing with this Morgellons issue with the creepy crawly and the feeling like things are crawling just everywhere, just absolutely everywhere. And so, okay, I'll make it to my parents' house. I'll finally relax. I mean, my anxiety is through the roof, but I'm getting better at coping with this. I think all of us can probably say that that's kind of how it happens. You get just better at coping with the bull crap, like you just do. And so I get to another crossroads, just another overlight, dark like in a horror movie, and then that light goes out. It's like, okay, and I know there's deer in the woods, and I keep walking, and I hear movement in the woods. Like, okay, it could be deer. There's so many different animals, of course. There's a lot of different animals out in the woods in the middle of Michigan. But I recorded some of it. I know the difference between a deer running away from somebody. They have a gallop, like a da-da-da-da-da-da. A man or a human, they kind of shuffle their feet, and they stop abruptly. If I had spooked a deer in the woods, I don't think that they would have shuffled a couple yards and then stopped. It's almost like and this happened about 4 or 5. It happened multiple times. And then I started to get to the voice V2K because I wasn't feeding into their bullshit. And I'm like, I know what's going on, and I'm not gonna go crazy. I'm not gonna do the psych ward. You're not gonna win on this. You're not gonna make me look stupid. Like, I'll wake up in the morning, I'll get through this, and it'll be fine. Like, you're having your fun, you're testing your little toys, you're trying to torment me. This is a flow kill operation. MK Ultra has never ended. It just became something new, like Project Monarch and so on.
It's 2.0, yeah.
Sorry?
It's MK Ultra 2.0 or MK Tech.
Yeah. And so to summarize, I won't go on too much longer, but I don't really remember squirrels or small furry animals really shuffling about and running at 3 o'clock in the morning at this point. It's 3 a.m. And it didn't sound right. It sounded mechanical. And it's behind me. So I'm passing this yard, and it's like, trees with like the spotlights that people have on the garages, the motion lights, right? So there's farm fields, and there's also woods, and so it's just like prime, yeah. And this was not a squirrel. This is some kind of mechanical something. I don't know. It did not sound like a squirrel. And besides that, when I turned around, I heard a chipper or whatever make some noise, and then I look back, and it runs to another tree. And so it's like they're trying to. It is really like they're trying to work me up.
Have you ever had a chance to listen to any of Look Out for Charlie's videos? Because he explains exactly the what you're going through with and it's called extremely low frequency, and it's happened to a lot of people, and exactly like you're explaining, and their story often ends tragically, and it often ends in a body of water. They extremely low frequency will follow you around like your home Alexa. You could tell Alexa turn on the air conditioning to 72 degrees, and it'll do it. You understand? So this is like a bathing everybody on the earth, and it's like an Alexa type of thing, okay? And
Yes.
it's extremely low frequency, and it's only adapted to you. It's only it's personalized for our own Alexa. So what you were experiencing was extremely low frequency, and some people have run into bodies of water and off of cliffs, trying to run away from somebody that they believe is actually chasing them through the woods and through the desert and into bodies of waters and off of cliffs. So you need to be very careful with that. And it's not anybody chasing you. It's your body. It's the air. It's this whole system. Okay,
right.
And it's going to be around you anywhere you go in the middle of the desert. If you go in the middle of the woods, if you go in the middle of the ocean, it's going to follow you everywhere.
Thank you for that, really, because
you're welcome. And I would suggest highly, if you have any time, to look out. His screen name is Lookout for Charlie, and he's on YouTube, and he really explains that, and he explains all the tragedies that you read in the papers, that you hear in the news about people just vanishing, and they find them in bodies of water, but and it all comes back to find out that that it's all ELF, and they're running away from something that's not even chasing them.
So extremely low frequencies, right? So can you give me his name exactly?
Yeah, it's Lookout, and it's F-A Charlie, CHARLIE. Lookout for Charlie.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. I know that, and I'll be done after this. So, and I knew that it was and they can do it remotely, like you said. But I knew that my phone and my scooter had been hit with some kind of EMP of some kind to disable it, because my scooter started right up when I got back after it being at my parents'.
Oh, we got to upgrade. We got to upgrade your ride there, Jacob. We got to get you a car one day.
Right. So with that, I end. But absolutely, I know we're all under different programs, so.
Mine is strictly V2K. I don't get any live action because they're scared of me. I'm 6'2", 270, and I'm not going to let them get away with anything. So they're scared shitless of me, and I have somebody with me all the time, so can't do anything to me. But they get me in the head, and they get me in those dreams.
Man, I wish it was like that with me, because they use the V2K to attack me physically and mentally, psychologically, and everything like that, sexually. It doesn't matter what it is. They use that stuff remotely on me.
Yeah, they did the sexual thing on me. I'm sorry to hear that. Are you okay right now?
I tried to go for a run. I lasted 20 seconds. I'm usually
Try again. I know you're probably not doing well right now, but just work on small goals. Yeah, we're here for you if you want to talk.
Sucks there. I said, in my mind, because I don't know if you guys believe me or not, but I can hear it. Although it's voice V2K, of course you believe me, but I can hear them talking to me and saying we don't give a shit if it's a good thing to do, or if it's the right thing to do. We don't give a shit about you. And then they would attack my heart and my chest and my lungs. And this is about 5 days ago, and they did it 3 days in a row. And I thought I was going to die. I started getting blurry vision. I started radiating to the sides of my brain. And I was scared to death.
Jesus, that's terrible.
Yeah, I've been a targeted individual for 4 years. I'm a disabled war veteran. I served in the Air Force.
Well, thank you for your service. I didn't serve, but I did become a police cadet instead, because there weren't any wars going on. I've been targeted probably all my life because my dad's a Freemason. I didn't know until he got dementia. They
try to make it seem like they're police officers, and I believe them because I see them in their squads. And, it's pretty scary.
That's how I got targeted. The sheriff is how I got targeted, yeah. Of course I know.
Yep, makes sense.
On top of your house when you were, yeah.
Yeah, I'm at my house and I got a sheriff's helicopter above my roof at 4 in the morning during a heavy storm, trying to hide within the thunder and the storm sound, and was right above our house. There's a guy hanging off the landing gear with a wand, like a TV antenna wand.
Yeah, there's some weird things that happen.
And then after that, the V2K started, hey, what are you doing in the hallway? And then the interrogation started, and they interrogate me every day now.
Do you think
So
that
you
one
get
would
more.
make you believe that it was coming from that, as like to throw you off?
I believe that there's a joint task force created after 9/11, and the Patriot Act was signed, and the fusion centers opened, and Homeland Security was starting, that they had a live duck. They thought I was a drug kingpin, and I was having a relapse. And so I sobered my ass up and decided I was going to do something about this, because you can't do that to people. I'm not a criminal. You know, it's crazy, and they do that to people on drugs or off drugs. But the reason why they do it to people on drugs is because it's plausible deniability, and they can say, oh, they're on drugs and hallucinated. It didn't have anything to do with the technology. You know that shit they'll pull.
It's delusions, because I'm a recovering addict, so
I'm a recovering addict too. Yeah, methamphetamine is how I got caught in this program.
Cocaine and methamphetamine. Same with me. It started with methamphetamine.
I have talked to so many people that have said the same drug has caused them to get into the same exact chain of events.
Yep.
Yeah, but I saw these people in person.
I think it's because of the structure of the drug. It lights you up on the radar because it's got phosphorus and stuff in it. So that's probably how they catch you. They scan the roofs at night, and you're up, of course, and that's when they find you.
It seems to me, and I'm wondering what other people think, is that even if there's no such thing as Satanism or any of this metaphysical stuff, it seems like a big portion of the people who are actively targeting others themselves are Satanists who do believe in it. And so
a lot of them are Freemasons who study Lucifer, and if you go deep enough high to the highest level, 360 degrees of Freemasonry, you will find out that they worship Satan, who is Lucifer.
Right. And then there's
Satan is the light bringer, and of course the Satan is involved in, and the occult is involved in all this. Make it spooky.
Right. So that in the end, it's like the way that some of these groupings work is, even if, let's say, none of this stuff is real, they're acting as though it's real and victimizing others in ways in which, in some ways, it might as well be real.
Right? Yeah, I was feeling about that.
Targeting you in a way that seems like to have some kind of a satanic sadism. You know, even if none of this stuff is real, it's still, you know, it seems like part of the program actually takes that Satanism stuff seriously. Now, I'm sure that's not the only part. There's other parts that has to do with, you know, developing a program.
Yeah, they're always telling me I'm going to prison because, yeah, they always tell me I'm going to prison all the time. It's a DOJ.
Right.
Department of Justice.
So it seems like there's an element to whoever is, like, you know, participating in perpetrating this program, is that it's not only as a, you know, cynical way of developing weapons, but it also seems like the suffering itself of the victims is also itself a goal, and not just the means to another goal, for at least a big portion of the people.
Well, that's because they're selling the data of how you were experimented on remotely. They're selling that data too.
Right, but what I'm saying is that it seems to me that it's a marriage of the two. There's also like a cynical, practical element to it, and then there's actual an element that purposely evokes this suffering as some kind of a sacrifice in their eyes, as though they're getting something in return for it.
Harold Couch. Remember that name and look him up on Spotify. He's a German, and he talks about this. He has like a physics background.
Harold Brahms?
Couch, K-A-U-T-Z. His accent is a little hard to follow, but he exactly talks about these things on a metaphysical level.
I'm sorry to ask you.
What was that again?
Harold, H-A-R-L-O-D, Harold.
Oh, Klaus Vela?
No,
H-O-
yeah, Klaus Vela, yeah.
Right. Okay, yeah. Yeah, thank you.
Harold,
Yeah,
like Harold and the Purple Crayon or whatever.
yeah, but I think
Only
it's
a couple
only
people probably know it.
H-A-R-A-L-D. It's Harald. It's like the German.
Harold.
Oh, okay. All right, cool.
And what's that last name, Harold? What's that last name?
Klaus
AUT.
Vela. I'll put it in the chat in a second.
Yeah, thank you. He's good, though. He talks
Yeah,
about
but
the
it's like,
heart
I've
chakra and
always been, not always, but I've been thinking, is it just Satanists or is it just the techies? Which one? I'm constantly like isolating it. And then I realize it's probably both. And they're having
It's both. They're all intertwined at the top. The top is intertwined. Right?
I don't like
and
this sport. I don't like
Dr. Robert Horton. Dr. Catherine Horton said the psychopathy is at the top of the pyramid for, structure of corporations and businesses and governments.
What about them attacking my heart and my lungs? I just had pneumonia and anemia. Not anemia. Gosh dang it. What's it called? Emphysema. And they took 2 liters of fluid in it. No, it's emphysema where they take.
That's terrible.
And yeah, they took 2 liters of fluid out of my lung, and they were still messing with me while I was sitting there with a tube in my chest. And surveillance people, that's what I call them, surveillance. They were still messing with me, and they were attacking my tube. Not as hard, but they were messing with me mentally and psychologically. Different voices. And since I'm in the military, of course, they did the Arab voice, like as the leader voice.
And they're always asking me if I've been to. They keep asking me if I've been to Kandahar.
Kandahar,
and then in Afghanistan or somewhere. I know they keep asking me, how many times have you been to Kandahar? I go, I've not been to Kandahar. You get me mixed up with somebody else.
Kandahar is one of the big cities of Afghanistan, which is known for.
I thought it was Afghanistan, yeah, and they keep saying how many times I was there.
They're just trolling you with this stuff.
Yeah, so I tell them, I was there 6 times. I traded drugs for money in Kandahar. Yes. So I tripped them all up, kept them going for a while.
And Chris, that's when I would tell them, hey, how about the military, filling the body bags? Well, I don't want to get too graphic, okay?
I remember
the military bringing all the drugs back and the deceased, what do you call, military brothers and sisters bags over on the planes and stuff. Yeah, when you guys going to stop that?
They get mad when I talk about Middle Easterns and when
are you going to stop having our military personnel guarding the poppy fields?
Right.
What about that drug situation?
Yeah, they get mad at me about drugs, especially drugs.
Yeah, and during the Vietnam War, the cadavers, they'd fill them with heroin and bring them back.
That's right, I remember that.
And they're still doing it, right? They're still doing it.
I don't want this anymore. I don't want to die. Because they almost killed me literally for real, like a few days ago. And I can't breathe very well. And
brother, I have that. Brother, I have that. They're like making my lungs feel heavy. I'm just lying there really calm, yesterday morning. And I'm having pain in my heart. I guess. Piercing pain. I'm like, I'm not even walking across the apartment. I'm not even moving. Why should I even have?
Tight, isn't it?
Yeah, that type stuff, right?
Oh, that hurts. That's scary.
But I'm chiming in with you that they're doing things, and somebody else said anemia or edema. I had that in the past 4 months, maybe 6 months, in my left
me too,
ankle.
Emphysema. Oh, and your left
I'm not
ankle?
even. Yeah, and my family. There's things happening to me that never occurred in my family at all. And Chris and everybody, it's like I went through my hospital file and found out that they deemed me a drug addict in 2008 when they took me out of my apartment and took me an hour and a half into the Bay to a psych ward. And they had me 20 to 30 miles south of Napa Mental Institution. They were ready to just throw the whole book at me, had me on up to a 2-week hold. And I started talking to RNs. That's how I got out. I started talking to a Sicilian sister that was an older lady, RN, told her that my best friend in Sacramento was a Sicilian family that have observed all this garbage, right? And then in the meeting where they were going to send me off to Napa Mental Institution, she was in there. And she helped me not get sent away. What? What'd you say?
Oh, I'm sorry. I just went to an institution myself. Sorry, go ahead.
Were you okay? Were you on a 5150? Oh, no.
I took Baker Act before, and I understand how that goes. So, yeah, it's a medical tyranny. It's worse than jail, so continue. Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Sure
Thank
is.
you for the validation, It's just terrible.
Yeah.
And what they're doing to us now is even, I don't know. They got me in a hot box right now. Like, and I'm finishing, Chris. I don't have air conditioning right now, and it's 96 degrees here. If I didn't have fans going, it would be 93 or at least 85, 87 in my apartment, upwards of 92, 93 degrees, which is against the law.
You're the one in Georgia, aren't you?
No, I'm in California, dear. It's
okay.
and I called the emergency line because you can, the emergency maintenance, who I think mess with the air conditioner. Can't prove it. So, hey, basically you're on your own. I mean, I don't know if they're screening the call to see if it's me. They're getting paid to do it to me. It's just like, okay, what if I was flooded out in here? You're not going to come? I guess it's like fire, flood, or blood. I don't know. I don't know. I don't want to say everything on here, but thank you guys.
I got take a little break for a moment here so we can get a word from our friends at TI Events, if you don't mind, and then we'll be talking for the next half an hour. Here's Alex and Jamie.
Jamie, being a targeted individual is so isolating. I don't know who to trust or where to turn.
I totally get it, Alex. That's how I felt too, until I found TIEvents.org.
TIEvents.org? What's that?
It's a site that lists everything for TIs. Conference calls, webinars, in-person events, support groups, meetups, and more. There's something happening every day.
Well, that's exactly what I need. Real support from people who understand.
You'll find it all at TIEvents.org. It's been a game changer for me.
TIEvents.org, your one-stop source for all targeted individual events. Visit today and connect with your community.
Yes, that's TIEvents.org for your choices of calls. Check it out. This is DJ Chris. This is the original V2K call and D2K Dreams. It's open mic. Deb K's here now, our in-house artist, and she's chilling on her sofa. Everybody welcome her. We've got Jacob in the house. We've got Anthony in the house. We're all just talking open mic. CC's in the house. Everybody's talking it up. Anyway, it's the next half hour of the call. If you'd like to chime in, come on in.
Yeah, hey, DJ Chris, and everybody else. I just want to say a couple of quick things. So just when we're talking about Look Out for Charlie, I guess I'm going to be, at the risk of being a little annoying, I'm just going to say again what I said on another call, which is that Look Out for Charlie actually claimed to have been able to eliminate his targeting symptoms while still being targeted and being an audio engineer, he can actually confirm that he's still having signals being datum. But he was able to eliminate his targeting following, and he devised a protocol for it, which is not just Epsom salt baths. It's like nutrition, application of topical various, creams and substances to whatever. I posted that in the chat. I don't know of any other person that is both authoritative and claims to have been able to eliminate his targeting symptoms. And so I just encourage people who don't have any other plan to, no other thing to try, to just at least try that. And if enough people confirm that this stuff works, even if it's just like 50% of the time, that's huge, and that should be told to everybody. So that's number one.
Thank you so much. I'm going to look him up too, and I'm going to look that up in the chat too, because that's life-saving information.
Yeah, and it's nothing fancy, but he has so it's very much doable, but it just requires dedication for a few months.
Right.
So I'm just saying.
Excuse me.
And the second thing is,
I don't agree with that. It's a lot more complicated than taking ointments and creams and vitamins and minerals.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure of that too, because he was able to eliminate his targeting, and he says that it was, basically by trying to address a certain kind of fungal infection that kind of cut the cord between him and his targeting. But I'm sure there's other kinds of targeting that he just didn't face that his protocol may not necessarily address. Like if someone has implants, at that point, it's not just about the fungus, right? Even if the fungus does facilitate conductivity, electrical conductivity that helps with that, right? So I don't think even he claims that it's something that's going to work for 100% of the TIs. But if this helps even 50% of the TIs or 30% of the TIs, then you know what? Unless someone has some other plans of action, then might as well try this.
And it reminds me a little bit of, what is that movie? It's not War of the Worlds. And so it's like you have, remember in the end of that movie, it was like a fungal kind of spirochete or whatever you want to call it, like fruiting body that kind of grows through underground. And it creeps me out so much because I literally pulled this thing out of a towel in my bathroom that has these like spiral, it's the same thing that I pull out of my skin that I saw growing in something else, and the fabrics around my home. So, yeah.
Yeah. What he says, he had Morgellons, he had all kinds of lesions, stuff coming out of them. He addressed this fungus issue by, through all these different means. And he said, well, his Morgellons is gone, his targeting V2K gone. So maybe you're one of those people that could really benefit from Look Out for Charlie's protocol.
And so why are they and I know we all have this question, right? So why me? It's like when somebody dies, why me? Why did my daughter die? Why did my brother die? Why did my mother die? Why am I dying or whatever? So it's like,
listen, it could be a combination of various things and various groupings, right? From Satanists who think that you're someone good to loosh off of, from plausible deniability, like DJ Chris was saying, because you have other issues in your record that could be used to justify why you're going through what you're going through. It could be because someone, you pissed off somebody that has clout to put people on the list. I mean, who the hell knows, right? It could be all of these things combined.
It is many of those.
It's also random.
There's all kinds of reasons. There's another reason.
The big shot random people and pop,
You could be a sacrifice for mafia or some kind of, if you know anybody that is in organized crime, they have to offer up some kind of a sacrifice, and it's usually a family member.
I know somebody that has porn sites and is connected with the family and could possibly be involved in my targeting.
There you go.
Yeah. Used to have you dial and meet each other on the phone before the internet. Yeah, so I was suspected him.
They used to have a dial phone in New York, and people in the know, they could just dial up and order whatever child they wanted. These circles of monsters goes in every direction, up, down, around the pyramid, whatever you want to say. It's disgusting. It's disgusting.
And I suspect
whatever
that if there's any truth to that whole depopulation agenda, I don't think it's just about saving resources or economic, because that would actually remove a big market from any of these corporations. My best guess, and it's really just a guess, is that if there's any validity to the whole depopulation agenda, it's to serve as a sacrifice.
Sir, can I interject? Is there any way that I might be able to contact you and we could have like a conversation afterwards, but without, spoiling anonymity? Email or something?
Yeah. I mean, I'm kind of new to this whole thing, so I'm a little bit kind of guarded. And I actually did reach out to some other people before, had conversations, and then, by the way, nothing about you, but I had conversations, and then I regretted having them because the person was actually turns out to be delicious. So honestly, I'm not well versed enough to kind of smell out the situation enough. So if you don't mind, I'm gonna kind of stay put for now. I'm trying to spread whatever things that I've learned.
DJ Chris is available by email if you want to contact me. And I'm here all week long. My email is djchris@targetedwest.com.
Yeah. But a totally, legit question. But if you don't mind, I just don't feel confident enough to be kind of open yet. Who knows what's happening in the future. But yeah, all I got to say, there's nothing else that I know other than what I say. So if I would say if you have other plans, do it. If not, try to look out for Charlie. Anyway, that's all. So thank you very much. And good luck to you.
It's open mic. Come on in.
Can I ask something? Because I know things kind of go in like a pattern. Is anybody being monitored and targeted by the police right now? Because I have been, and I'm getting concerned. I mean, I don't go out a lot, but I went out one day last week. And
all the time. All the time.
There was a police, there was like this SUV behind me, and it came racing at my car, and then stopped when it got close to me, and then did it again. And I'm thinking, why is this SUV on my tail like this? And then all of a sudden I saw the flashing lights. So it was a sheriff's department. They pulled me over, and they go, do you know that your turn signal's out? And I said, no, and it was out. So, they're talking, and then they asked me if I spoke Spanish. I mean, I don't know what that had to do with anything. And then one of them says, you crossed the line a little bit. Yeah, you crossed the line a little bit and the light. And I didn't ask anything. And then they wanted my, license and registration. So I gave them the license, and I said, well, what else do you need? And they gave me the license back and goes, here. And they just let me go and didn't say anything else. They didn't ask for the registration or anything. They didn't really want to see it. So,
sounds like somebody told them to pull you over.
But why would they race up to my car like that, slow down, and then do it again? I mean, I don't know what they were trying to get me to do.
Intimidation.
Yeah, police do that. It's the part of the personality.
They don't do that.
They don't do that.
Smart dash cams.
I went out on Friday, and out of clear blue, here comes this black SUV behind me. And I'm thinking, that looks like the white one, so is that another cop? And then he did the same thing. He got right on my butt. And then he slowed down, he did it again, then he went around me, and it was a cop, but it was from a different department. The police have the black and white, and the sheriff has the white. And I'm thinking, okay, now this is not coincidence. Why are they doing this? Like, he came out of nowhere. So they've been monitoring me when I leave the house, and I'm like, now I'm getting concerned, like, what are they trying to get me to do?
So I would ask, what did you do in the past 12 hours to raise that question for them to, because they're under direction by somebody, most likely. And so what conversation have you had or whatever in the past day before that, right?
Nothing. They didn't do anything. You didn't do anything. They're just trying to intimidate you.
I mean, why were they asking me if I spoke Spanish? I mean, I was talking to one cop, and there were
because they're looking for people to deport.
Well, I'm as white as you can get. I'm sorry. I mean, I was talking to one of the cops, and the thing is, there were two of them in the vehicle. I've lived here 30-something years, you never see them riding together, ever. But two of them were in that vehicle. So I have a feeling they were told to come after me, because there was a police station just down the road from it. But I don't understand, like, why they're racing my car. Were they trying to maybe get me to hit my brakes? Or were they, I don't understand what they're doing. I mean, I don't know. Are they making me afraid to go out? Like, am I supposed to be paranoid to go out like they're going to try to arrest me or something? I don't get it.
They want you to feel guilty for doing nothing. That's this program's about. They want us to feel guilty for just doing nothing.
When they're the ones making us do nothing, breaking down our family ties.
Yeah, they're being aggressive with driving. They're being the aggressive driver, not you.
And there's so many dark edges to this that it's a slow kill program. And if you feel you're a targeted individual or, a victim of illegal research and, whatever experimentation, look, they have, I'll make this quick, they have crowd control weapons that can actually knock out your lights, knock out your engine. They can shut down a car. They've done it to me over and over and over. I got stopped at the store, and they want you to pull over in the dark. I'm not doing that. I'm going to a lit gas station. I pulled up in Walmart parking lot. I had just lost my nephew, and I'm shaking, looking for my ID and everything. I'm letting him know, I just had 3 deaths in my family. Just find someone else to bother. And he's like, well, your license plate light is out, and I just can't see your license plate. And I'm just like, oh, is that because you knocked it out with the crowd control weapons in your car? I mean, they got all kinds of things. There's an article called 9 or 10 creepy weapons the police use against unsuspecting victims. They have these weaponry from the DOD to the sheriffs to the police departments, what have you. If you're a targeted individual, they're throwing a lot at us. Or, you could even be somebody they just don't like and they're not targeted on this program. You could be an activist. You could be anybody that they just want to, put you in a program of some kind. It's not a no-brainer, but over time you're going to learn. You're going to learn.
And they stick together. Whether they care or not, they stick together. They're going to cover for each other, no matter what. Even if they know it's wrong.
Just don't disrespect them. Just say, sir, ma'am, sir. Don't get too, what do you call, don't get too aggressive. And usually somebody with some sort of decorum inside or some kind of character, they're going to be like, this lady, yeah, we're supposed to bother her or whatever, but, I just call them sir, ma'am, sometimes I get a little edgy, but most time I'm just like, sir, ma'am, and they'll usually, if they got some kind of druthers of a character, they'll realize, man, she's really not doing anything. Let me hurry up and go. Because sister, you're on their shoulder there, it's recorded, unless they turned it off. They have a camera on their shoulder recording everything that's going on.
Yeah, they used to try and scare me with, sorry, Cece, they used to try and scare me with the sirens. Like, if I hear the sirens, even at my house, they would subliminally tell me, oh, they're coming after you, they're coming out. And I didn't do anything. And, I would just, like, it's like after the 100th time, it's like you start feeling like, well, did I do something or what? Of course I didn't do anything, but, it's all intimidation, and, it's hard to say ignore it because it's really, they're aggressive and annoying, but as long as you didn't do anything, you have nothing to worry about.
I'm recording everything now. I mean, I used to talk to them nasty because for 18 years, day in, I'm ashamed. I'm embarrassed to even tell you. I got my police reports the other day. I have 112, and that's just with one department. One department. It's embarrassing.
What state? Can I ask what state you're in? What state are you in?
I'm in Arizona, but it's like Arizona.
Arizona? Okay.
But and it's like, I was like, they probably didn't like the way I was talking to them, but they were mocking me. I just got so tired of it. They'd leave me in situations that were dangerous. So now I don't talk to them at all. I'll just say, know, because whatever you say, they turn it and weaponize the words against you. That's how they
Real
say
quick, I just told the one, and I told them, you're just being rude, and as long as you don't swear at them and you just call out what kind of behavior they're doing, it disarmed him, and he was actually, like, he had to be nice because there was another police officer with him, and I just said, you're really being rude, and he said, no, I'm not, and then he de-escalated it from there, and he was nice, but continue, sorry.
Other departments involved. They're getting there's like 4 or 5 of them that are the area that I, drive around to and stuff. They've got all these, because I live in the county, but they've got all these other police departments around on me now as well.
You know what? When they're, trying to pull you over, do you stop in dark areas? Because that's a no-no. Just drive very carefully. Even while you're driving, if you brake, put your hands up like you have nothing in your hands. They've got lights on you. They're going to see your hands empty. And you drive to a lit area. Never stop in the dark for these people. Just any part of the road. Don't just stop on any side of the road. I don't do it.
We live in America. We have to live like this. This is so unbelievably ridiculous. So unbelievable. They don't have money. Someone was saying that they were trying to get them trained to learn how to catch these people, using these weapons. And they said they don't have the funding, but they have enough funding to come after us and harass us around the clock and monitor us around the clock.
Well, you're right there.
Yeah,
You're right there. They are doing training. They're doing Homeland Security training. My little town is a Homeland Security training location site. Okay? Yes, it is.
How are they hurting people like me, where they're like using remote targeted electric weapons on my whole body, sexually, mentally, psychologically, and doing it every day for 4 years now.
You crossed the line.
You know what I mean? Like, how are they still doing stuff like that? Where do they get the money for that?
They've been doing it to me for the same thing for decades. They've been doing this.
Right. Isn't that crazy?
It's taxpayers' money. They're using taxpayers' money and rich people, and they have they have no checks or balances.
Well, I think police out about a month ago. It's probably a little less than a month, because somebody shot Sonic at my house. I mean, it shook the entire house. I really thought the fountain was going to crack or something. It was so bad. It came from a neighboring house. So I called them to see if anybody else reported it, which they said no, but when I looked online, there were numerous people reporting the same kind of activity going on. So they're lying about it. But I told them, they were saying something, I said, you know what, there's a pattern here, and I'm not going to discuss anything about this any longer with you unless I have either an attorney or somebody representing me. So he said, okay, I'm just trying to help you, and he left. So now they've been following me since that, ever since I told them that. Because I was telling them everything, and now they can't get anything out of me. Now they're probably wondering, why is she coming and getting all the police reports? Because they think there's something up. Get all your police reports, everybody, because there's going to come a time.
I can't call the police on my voice is in my head.
Right, they don't believe me. And even if they did, it doesn't matter.
Right.
You're right, they stand up for each other. They're not going to tell you. They're the worst at that.
But be careful. Be careful how much you get, how assertive, aggressive you get with them, because, things can happen. Don't think that these people won't hurt us, unalive us. So have your ducks in a row and be careful what you really tell them, because it could scare them, and nothing is worse than a scared police, any kind, any badge. Because man, they make 900, they make 90,000 a year. They got $1 million home with their wifey. That's probably the social worker or another officer or wherever she works, and they're afraid of losing all that, all the cars and the extra house.
California. Like, what? Not here, California. Okay.
A lot of them give me this smirk at me, give me this smile, like,
sorry.
Oh, what's going on? And it's just insensitive. It's just so unbelievable. I mean, this is not a joke. We're being cooked in our home.
Scared.
Laughing at
Correct.
us. I was a kid. I mean, I know this lady here too. You came from a police family, and so did I. But when you were growing up, weren't you made to believe that the police were your friend, that they're there to help you if something goes wrong? Boy, is that the farthest from the truth.
Are you
Basically,
asking
Operation
me?
Paperclip.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course, they came into kindergarten through 3rd and 4th grade and said, well, Officer Pete, he's here today to visit with us and sit down with us. And, you need to know that you can call and ask for help, of course. And then if you're thrown in a program like this, that's not going to be the truth. And, yeah, I've said about my background or whatever, but it kind of, I don't know how to totally answer that because they still are playing their games, and it's not stopping, for the most part right now. And I was MK Ultra before I became a TI, and I'm still MK Ultra. It's gotten worse. The MK Ultra part of it has gotten worse for me because they're always turning the sound up. Oh, that's a loaded question, my dear. That's a long answer. I'm not going to start.
What's
you might just go on Google. MK Ultra, just the way it sounds, dear, and you might just Google it to start, because that's I don't think Chris would want me to go into the diatribe of it. Okay,
that's a long story and a book to read, basically.
Yeah, I love you guys. I mean, this is awful. You would imagine that this would get better for us, but you're preaching to the choir, my dear. I don't know. What is your name, the lady? Do you mind if I ask? You don't have to give it.
I'm Lorraine.
Lauren? Lorraine. Lorraine, I hear your pain. I validate you. I hear your pain.
Why doesn't it get better? I'm going on 4 years. I'm on 4 years now.
Oh.
We're in a Cold War right now. That's why, because it's not even over yet. It's just happening. We're in the middle of it, and people don't realize that. The war has been going on for a long time. I mean, the Nazis, the fascistic whatever, has never gone away. I mean, Hitler was obsessed with medical experiments and the occult and everything else. And it's Operation Paperclip with bringing over the Nazi scientists and NASA. And I mean, take your pick. So yeah, we're just in the middle of it.
They don't do
it.
The one who's been in the program 4 years. Sir, where are you at? Are you there?
I'm right here.
What part of the country? Don't tell me what state, but are you on East Coast, West Coast?
I'm Central.
Central America? Central area of the country?
No. Central North America. So like the Midwest.
Okay.
Like by Chicago. I can't say that.
Yeah, I'm from Michigan, so Michigan's pretty bad.
How are you doing today? 4 years. That's pretty new. How are you feeling today?
Yeah, that's new. Oh my gosh, that's not good.
Yeah.
That doesn't sound good.
A lot of us we've been targeted for decades.
Yes, but I'm asking him that takes a lot of guts to say you're just new like that. And what is your name? You don't have to give it if you don't want to.
I'm Brad.
Brad, it's good to have you here, Brad.
Yeah.
It's good to have you here.
Thank you.
Have you been on this call a lot yet, or are you new today?
I've been in here. I've been gone for a while. I've just been so scared, and I thought they hacked this program, to be honest with you, because the what's it called? Like when you go to itr.com or .org. Is it ITR?
I've never heard of that. I've not heard
of that.
that.
That's in the room.
TIevents.org.
TIevents.org.
Okay, thank you.
I'm thinking of recovery groups, sorry. They changed it. There's like so many things. Oh.
I don't want to interrupt, but we have a book club to tend to. This week's book is How Propaganda Works by Jason Stanley. I will make it quick. Please join our book club if you'd like. It's bookclubs.com/TIbookclub/join. And it's now top of the hour. And speaking of TI events, we have a little word from them. Here we go.
Chris, I I've been hosting events for targeted individuals, but no one ever comes.
You need TIEvents.org. It's where TIs find all the events. Conference calls, meetups, webinars.
How do I get listed?
Just go to TIEvents.org. It's easy. TIEvents.org, where the TI community connects. List your events today.
That's TIEvents.org. If you're watching this recording on your favorite platform, BitChute, YouTube, Rumble, or you're listening on Spotify or watching on Archive, thank you for your time. Please like and subscribe. Comment on the video if you'd like. And we'll be back next week with more open mic. So thank you for participating.